Hello and welcome to episode 138 of The Pitcher or the Hitter, the podcast by the M-SABR Dynasty League for the M-SABR Dynasty League. I am Cam.
I'm Sahil.
And we are really getting into the fall now. Playoff baseball is happening. Hockey is starting. The Orioles have been eliminated. Fall is in the air and the off season is in the air.
So we're recording this the day after the Orioles were eliminated. The deal was if they won game three, Cam and I were not going to record today so I could watch the game, but they ended up losing. So I told Cam, hey, let's record. I just wish they won one. Like I just wanted that one moment where we could all just be like, oh fuck yeah, like they won a game. Like the Orioles haven't won a playoff game in 9 years, and
Only 9 years. Wow, big
when was the
for
last time
you.
the Reds won a playoff game? Like
They won in
2010.
2012. They won a couple playoff games and then they lost the next three to lose the series.
Okay, so they have not won a playoff series in your lifetime, have they?
They have not.
Okay, so at least the Orioles have won one playoff series in my lifetime. I don't
Yeah,
think,
the Lions are the only other professional team in any sport to have not won a playoff round in my lifetime.
and the Mariners were on that list until last year. I think.
No, the Mariners won the ALDS in 01.
Wasn't 01 the year they won 116 and then lost in the DS?
No, they lost in the CS. They made the
That doesn't sound right. I thought they got upset in.
let's see. Nope, they beat Cleveland in the DS and lost to the Yankees in the CS.
All right, I stand corrected then. Okay. But yeah, no, I mean, it's been 9 years. In those wins too, they played, and I hate how MLB schedules this. I don't know why the hell you schedule daytime baseball, or daytime weekday baseball, and like all those games were like while I was in school. I remember in the lunchroom they like brought like a big like they projected it on the screen or something. I could watch like an inning while eating lunch or something, but that obviously it doesn't replace watching a full game. So. Um, uh it, I just wanted one, but the future's bright. I think this team is really going to go places. I think they'll spend a little bit of money in the off season. I don't think it's going to be. I don't think we're spending $300 million on an ace or bringing in Ohtani or something like that. But like, if you can give me and Peter or Peter Angelos, and I guess it's not Peter anymore, it's John, but the family shelled out $50 million contracts before for outside free agents, and I mean obviously the Chris Davis contract, so I'm confident they'll spend a little bit of money. I'm hoping they can kind of get a little more pitching. I think that's where the real need is. Especially the Bautista injury, adding a bullpen arm or two, adding another arm in a rotation. But I feel pretty good about this team moving forward. And it's weird to wake up and be like, there's not another game to watch. Like it's done. It's gonna be a long 4 or 5 months. But life goes on. And who knows, maybe I'll trade for some of them in the offseason, make me feel a little better. But enough sadness. I feel like it's been a lot of bummers for me in a row in the last couple episodes. Aaron bummers, if you will. But I think you knew I was going to say that. But
I certainly did.
yeah, we have a fun segment planned for today. This is one I've been looking forward to for a while, and this was kind of your brainchild. So, why don't you explain what the segment is and how we got to the segment in the first place? Because there's another segment last offseason that we did that was pretty similar.
Yeah, so what we're doing today, and later we have an interview with Ruthvik. It's going to be great. We already recorded it. A lot of fun. but so definitely listen to that. But before that Ruthvik interview, we have um, the 35 and over draft. So it wasn't this offseason. It was actually this all-star break, middle of the season. To celebrate my 25th birthday, we drafted players younger than me, 25, younger than 25, any player younger than I am. We drafted, put them on a team, and we're going to see how they do over their careers, who got the better team. What we're doing here is kind of the opposite of that. We are drafting players 35 and over. And we were going to do over 35 to line up with the under 25, but there just weren't enough guys. So we're doing a 35 and over draft. And because there weren't like a ton of middle infielders to pick from, we're just doing 9 hitters, 9 pitchers. Best players win. We're going to put them into an ESPN league just for 1 year, see how they do. Do we want to do roto or matchups?
Oh, oh, that's interesting. Hmm. I feel like we should just do it consistent with the dynasty scoring because that's how we did the I guess that's not how we did the Andrew draft from last off season, but
Yeah, that was a little different because that was
I
just
feel like
naming fun
I
players. That wasn't really a draft or a league as much as a way to name fun players. But this is going to be competitive. We're trying to beat each other here.
that's a good question then. I don't know.
Well, either way, we're certainly not going to remember what the answer is right now. When it's March and I'm putting this league together, even if I remember to do so at all. So how about say that's TBD.
Yeah, we'll say it's CBD. I will make sure to remind you. I was telling you off air. I think it would be cool if we do like one draft each year where we like draft something random on the podcast and then throw them all into an ESPN league and just see what happens.
Oh yeah, and we got a few fun drafts this offseason too planned. I think this is going to be an off season of drafts. Um,
Maybe we do three different drafts and then we see who can win the most number of those leagues. So like if we
Interesting. That could be so that's kind of similar to something I have planned for like February, January, February, March. I'll talk to you about that off air.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
but yeah, that's the plan for this draft. Yeah, 9 hitters, 9 pitchers. We'll do it with the regular categories though in this league. Uh, uh bet there's going to be a lot of 0 weeks for stolen bases across the entire team. I really don't think there are a lot of stolen base guys out there, but I mean, I've got a couple holds guys on the list and some save guys as well to try and get those categories.
Yeah, and I disagree with you on the steals.
Do you know?
I do.
Interesting. Well, we'll see about that. Who is going to pick first? We have not decided who's picking first here.
Who picked first in our 25 or under draft?
Looks like that's a good way to do it. Um, God, who? I don't know if I can tell. We just have rosters. We don't have. Um,
Well, who went? Let's see.
yeah, I don't know who the consensus number one would have been.
If we did this in the middle of the season, I'm guessing Acuna. Who took Acuna? Because whoever took Acuna,
No, Acuna, I think, is too old. Do you think it's your Julio pick or my Carroll pick?
I wonder if it was your Soto pick that won.
Let
And
me see. I could see me going like Carroll one and then Soto Witt at the next turn. Oof, I've got Wander Franco.
oh no, yeah,
Yikes.
that's gonna.
Oh God. Oh God. What if Wander Franco was the number one pick? Let me uh
I can't imagine he was.
let me take 3 minutes to listen
Yeah,
to
go for it.
listen to this and see.
Go for it. If we are being competitive about this, I think
Okay, so it looks like here I Yeah, I got it up. You picked first. You took Tatis, and then I took Soto and Carroll at the turn.
Okay, so then you pick
So
first.
I'll go first here in this draft. Thankfully, God, that I had a sinking feeling that I picked first and that I had taken Wander, and that would have been, oh God, that would have been embarrassing in retrospect.
I
Um,
knew you hadn't taken Wander, but I genuinely thought you would pick first.
yeah, no,
Uh,
I'm surprised. All right, so yeah, you got the first pick. I am picking first this time. I think you said there's a clear number one. I think there's probably a clear number one. I hope that when I take this guy that he's who you think is number one. It's Paul Goldschmidt, right?
yeah, it's obvious, and that's who I was alluding to when I said that. Like, I don't think that there's going to be a total zero in steals, and I think he is the one guy who's going to steal bases. So I think you have locked up that category every week by drafting Paul Goldschmidt.
Perfect. All right. Made a great pick for once.
For once,
No,
yeah.
I'm very happy with my draft, despite the wonder of it all.
No wonder. Oh my goodness. Okay. There is one thing I want to check. Uh,
I think after the top two, it gets really hard.
yeah, and I think I'm trying to kind of figure out here like what direction do I want to go in. Um, I'm partially because I think this is fun. More fun to go this way. But partially just because of how the season's played out. Um, I'm gonna go with my back-to-back picks here. A couple Tiger legends. I'm gonna go Justin Verlander, Max Scherzer. Lock up some
Gotcha.
cases.
Yeah, Verlander, I think, was the clear number two. After that, it definitely falls apart a little.
I think so too. So yeah, I mean, I think Verlander, I mean, has just been super consistent. I'm a little concerned with the dip in the strikeout rate this year, but I don't have any health concerns with him. He had a very nice year, still 3.22 ERA. I expect him to keep that up. Scherzer, I think, was a little iffier, not because of performance. When he was healthy, he was good, but he is hurt. He will be back for the ALCS, is what I am hearing. But uh, he will be. I mean, he is 39 right now, and dealt with a little bit of a shoulder injury this year, so there is some inherent risk there. But when you are dealing with pitchers who are 35 or older, and honestly, looking at most of these names, it is kind of a shit show. So you kind of reach a point where you're just like, hey, like, let me get two guys who are absolutely going to be first ballot Hall of Famers, and that still had good seasons. So I'm happily will put my faith in Verlander and Scherzer.
Yeah, not a bad decision here. I am going to take a pair of Dodgers.
Oh, okay.
We'll start out here with the other first ballot Hall of Famer on the board, Clayton Kershaw. Um, he's 35, but he's pitching not as many innings, but certainly as good of innings as he did even when he was in his prime. Clayton Kershaw, yeah, playoffs notwithstanding, I'm very happy with that pick. And I am going to take JD Martinez,
Mm.
who is, yeah, another guy who's maybe not going to play 150 games, but he raked this year. Certainly against you in the finals. And I'd like to have another power bat in the lineup.
Yeah, I think that's a good pick. I gave some consideration to JD. Ultimately, I'm concerned about the landing spot. I don't think he's back with the Dodgers. And I wonder if that's going to depress some of the RBI and run numbers, and
Oh, I'm sure it will, but
yeah,
like
and
bats get really, really thin really quickly.
no, I think they do too, but I'm with my back to back here. Um I think you've made my decision a little easier. I'm gonna go. Why not? I'm just gonna stack up on all of the aces. Give me you, Darvish. I know he's coming off a little bit of a dip, a little bit of a down year, but I think the skills are still there in place, and I think I've now secured the top three pitchers, starting pitchers, I should say. So that I think is really going to give me an advantage. And then give me Justin Turner. Fantastic year this year. I mean, he and JD Martinez basically just swap spots. But he had a 114 WRC plus, played his ass off this year, 23 homers, 96 ribbies, 86 runs. He's under contract, I think, for another year in Boston. Or it's a player option in 24. So maybe he ends up going back to the free agent market. But I just think he's a really good hitter. So
Yeah, no, not a bad pick. Pitchers have also thinned out, as I'm realizing that Chris Sale is not 35. He's only like 34, so I had to remove him from my board. I let's start out here with Andrew McCutchen, who's just kind of been steady. I had a 378 on base percentage this season. It'll help me there. He also stole 11 bases, so some more steals here to boost my team in that category. So yeah, good old Candrew. And pitching wise, it is suddenly pitching has thinned out. It is thin. It is a very thin draft. No doubt about it. I'm just between two guys. I gotta go Alex Cobb. He's the former Oriole. Has made 28 starts in back-to-back years at age 34 and 35. He turned 36 on Saturday, so happy birthday, Alex. Yeah, I think there's one more good season in his armor. So he was an all-star this year. Gotta get some names in my rotation.
interesting that you went with him. I'm a little surprised you went with him and not another name.
Oh
Uh,
god, I hope I didn't miss a name.
I don't know if you call it missing a name or not, but I think there's certainly a debate. Since we are gonna play it with our league's categories, I think it's important to get you're gonna monopolize steals, so I'd like to get the top reliever or what one of the top relievers. I'm going to take Kenley Jansen.
Ooh, I miss Kenley Jansen. He was not on my board.
Yeah, Kenley is how old is Kenley now?
He's 36, yeah.
Yeah, he's 36. So, um, no, I am very happy with that pick.
On the fly, I'm thinking maybe we make it 10 hitters, 8 pitchers instead,
just
because there's not and this isn't a response to your draft. It's the response to there are fewer starting pitchers than I thought there were. Because it kind of seemed at first like, oh, there's a lot of starting pitchers, but that kind of thinned out.
like holds though, like holds guys.
I mean, we could go into holds guys. We could have small rotations and big bullpens. I'd be fine with that.
I think that's part of building a pitching staff, right? Do you want to?
All right.
Yeah, let's make it fun.
All right, we'll keep it the way it is. You got a second pick to make.
Yeah, I do. This next one's trickier. I don't think there is huh. I mean, I feel like I reach a point where if I'm building a team to beat you, like I've kind of given myself a rotation edge. So while I think I could draft some more starting pitching, like I don't know to the extent that it's going to help me. I'm also a little wary of figuring out like, hey, are some of these guys going to retire or not? Like your Kershaw pick was interesting to me because I genuinely kind of wonder if he's going to come back.
They say that every year. He's only 35. He's pitching great. He's coming back.
Yeah, I'm between a couple players here. And it's tough because like also like hey like this is how they did this year, right? But like you can look at that, but some of these guys could just fall off so quickly, and it's about kind of projecting like hey who do you think is going to fall off, and who do you think has um a little more in them. You've taken all the good hitters too. Like why did I just let you take all the good hitters? I should have thought that one through.
There's a few good ones left.
All right, let's do it this way. I'm just gonna take you completely out of the pitcher race here. And I'm gonna go and just draft Charlie Morton. I think
Uh,
I that's who I thought you were gonna take over Cobb. Um, he started the season off rough. He ended it well, and if nothing else, he's going to give me good strikeout numbers. Uh,
yeah, it's a good pick.
yeah, I think, and I that it's hard to build a staff of older dudes. And I think I could piece together some hitting, but I want to get the established pitching in.
Yeah, I think I may have missed Charlie Morton when making my list. All right, what I'm going to do now um, is not concede relievers, and I'm going to take Kimbrel and Chapman, both of them, so I can try and win saves
I didn't
here.
know, like Kimbrel, yes, is Chapman already over 35?
Yeah, he is 35. He turned 35 in February.
Oh, damn. Okay. That's a good call. Okay.
Yeah, try and get some of those back from you. And Chapman will get some saves. Maybe he'll pick up some holds too.
Yeah.
All right, so it's back to you.
Uh, we are inclusive of players who are 35, correct?
Yes, we are.
Okay. So I'm glad we were recording this on October 11th because you know who just turned 35 on October 9th?
Who?
Starling Marte.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? He was pretty soon on my list.
Yeah, I know he was hurt this year, but he had in 85 games or 86 games, 24 stolen bases. Uh, so that keeps me competitive in steals with you, and I get like he kind of dropped across the board elsewhere, but like his two seasons before this were a 134 and a 132 WRC plus. If he can just stay healthy for 100 110 games, like at the very least he'll help in the stolen base department. So give me Starling Marte. And then there's one other guy, actually two that I want to check on here for age purposes. Oh, you know who comes close, but no cigar. Merrill Kelly turns 35 on October 14th.
Ooh, brutal.
Yeah,
So he will be 35 when this episode comes out. But
exactly. Yeah, but he is not eligible for our draft because of that. Okay, so I said Starling Marte for one. Feel like it's tough because like you're like trying to compete in the reliever categories now. I'm like, do I go for reliever, or I know I want to still compete with bats, so do I want to get a bat? You have not made this easy on me. Okay, there's one name I want to check for age purposes. No, he is a couple years off of that. As is yeah. Okay. I'm gonna take a little bit of a gamble here on the hitting side. I don't really like what this player has done this year. But at the same time, I think I'd rather kind of take a couple shots, and I think this player, uh, I think, had a little bit of a better end to the season than
I
the.
think I know exactly who this is.
Do you? Actually, let me check one more player before I do that. Ooh, you know what? I am changing my mind on the fly. I'm gonna go
Oh,
with somebody a little more consistent here. Give me Carlos Santana.
oh, good pick.
You just kind of consistent, 20 home run hitter. Yeah, 23 this year. Good plate skills. Yeah.
All right. I have two picks now. I am going to take not the guy that I thought you were going to pick. I'm going to take a guy who was a lot better than I thought he was this year. Did you know Brandon Belt had an 858 OPS this year?
Oh, fuck, that's a fantastic pick. Yeah, he bounced back big time this year. Um, damn.
And yeah, with my second pick, I'm going to go back to the bullpen, try and lock down some categories. This is a guy, he's 38, actually. He'll be
Wow.
39 uh, in April. So a bit of a risk that he retires, but um, he had a great season. He's going to get some saves and holds. David Robertson.
That's exactly who I was thinking you were going to take. And as soon as you started describing him, and I'm not happy about that. I think he's a good option for, I think, holds. I don't know if somebody's going to give him the closer's job next year, but especially
No,
after.
probably not. But
But honestly, if I'm you, I'd probably want him to be to get hold because you drafted Kimbrel and Chapman. Although I don't know if either of them are locked to get saves either. So that one's going to be kind of tricky. But you didn't take said player who I started kind of teeing up earlier. So I'm gonna take him here. I think, like I said, like I think he is better than he performed, or he performed a little better down the stretch. He's been awesome throughout his career. And that's I'm going to gamble on him keeping it up. He actually just had a big day in the playoffs yesterday. It's Jose Abreu.
yep, yeah,
And
that's who I thought you were teeing up.
yeah,
It's a good pick. He's been kind of very close the last couple rounds to be being taken by me.
yeah. I think uh if he is anything close to rebounding to where he was before this year, I think you could argue he's the second best hitter that's been drafted, maybe third behind with Jade. Um, it's a big if. And then I'm gonna go. I think Fly's a little under the radar, but he's been quietly consistent when he pitches, and that's Kenta Maeda.
Oh, that's a good one. That was who I was going to take next.
Oh,
I have to
I
figure
love
this
that.
out.
I just assumed he wasn't going to be on your board, or not on your board, but not for a while. So I thought I was maybe reaching a little bit, but I'm glad to hear that validation.
Yeah, no, that's a very good pick. What am I to do now? Um,
It's not easy.
no, it's not easy. Um, I just realized Jose Quintana is 34, not 35. So I have to remove him from my board. I am going to gamble that Kyle Gibson can get some quality starts for me.
Ooh,
He had a
uh,
he doesn't strike out a ton of guys, but he doesn't walk a lot of guys either. His FIP was zero point 0.6 better than his ERA. Uh, the xFIP was solid. I think the peripherals are nice enough to think maybe he has a bounce back year. Um, you know, not too risky of a pick.
That's interesting.
Uh,
I'm curious to see where he ends up next year.
yeah, I could see him like eating innings for the Royals.
He followed the Jordan Lyles path, do his
Mm,
1 year with the Orioles, and then be an innings eater.
yeah, he could do that. He's pitched 160 plus innings each of the last five non-shortened seasons. So I can totally, yeah, imagine him putting together some quality starts and flipping that category for me some weeks.
Yeah, no,
And
sorry, go ahead.
yeah, yeah, no, that was it.
Okay, you just made two picks, right?
No, I think I just made one. Yeah, I just made one.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I'm going to take another hitter. He's a guy who is way higher on my board. I've been holding off on him just because I'm not fully sure that he's 35. But at a certain point, I think it's time to take him. He's my guy, Adam Duvall.
God damn Adam Duvall.
I,
I thought he was 34 actually, but I was not aware he was 35. But I think it would have been safe for you to assume that he was not on my board. So
okay, fair enough. I think he's jumping off the table as the best hitter available now at this point, so I can't not take him.
no,
Just on the off chance yeah, take him.
I think it's absolutely fair, but yeah, I mean, fuck Adam Duvall. He
Oh,
drives
he's the best.
he drives me insane. I'm sure he's a lovely guy. Like I have nothing against him personally, but also just fuck Adam Duvall. Um, okay. Uh, I have one guy I'm thinking of here, and I am curious. Okay, in the spirit of holds guys,
Oh, don't you take my guy.
this player had a 105 ERA this year.
Fuck. Oh, I thought I could wait another round for him.
Yeah, it is Chris Martin. I don't know how I feel about having two members of the Boston bullpen, but we are rolling
God,
with
when
it.
was the last time anyone had this? Has anyone ever had the reaction I had to Chris Martin being taken in a draft?
No, I was genuinely surprised you had that strong of a reaction. It's really funny. A Chris
Ah,
Martin of all people.
I'll
Uh,
trade.
yeah. Oh my goodness. That is hilarious. Uh, and then I think my next guy, I think there's a couple paths I can go here. I think this next guy's just going to get the playing time, and what I like about the playing time that he's going to get too is that it actually comes with a pretty solid OBP. Even even though I don't think he's going to do strong in most of the other categories, I think he might be a little bit of a stabilizer, and that's Charlie Blackmon.
Oh yeah, he was pretty soon. He was maybe the next bat I would have taken.
Yeah, he had a 363 OBP this year. He had a 314 a year before, but 351, 356, 364, 358 the 4 years before that. I mean, it's pretty much identical. You pretty much know what you're getting in that regard. But yeah,
Hmm.
I like this pick.
Yeah, no, not a bad pick. I'm going to take. Let's start out with the backup holds guy I had, Brooks Raley. He was the guy I was going to take if with Chris Martin off the board.
I had no idea
Um,
he was already 35. Okay, that's a great.
yeah, he turned 35 in June.
Okay.
Yeah, get a lot of holds, walks a lot of guys. So not great for the whip, but I think he pitches few enough innings that that's not going to hurt me too much. So let's see. I need uh four more hitters and two pitchers. Let's take DJ LeMahieu still kind of chugging along. There's no one exciting left, but LeMahieu, he did hit 22 doubles this year. He had a really good on base percentage as recently as 2020. Uh, yeah, he's 35. He turned 35 in July. Um, I can bank on a decent enough season from him.
Okay. I just did a little bit of research, and it is my pick now, right?
Yes.
And I can't believe we forgot about this guy, Tommy Pham.
Yeah, Tommy Pham's on my board. He's maybe the third or fourth best hitter left on my board at least.
I certainly would have taken him higher if I had realized he was of age. So I'm glad that I am just now realizing he is of age. He had a 110 WRC plus, 16 homers, 22 steals. Like, sign me up for that.
Yeah.
Um, I don't see why some team's not going to sign him to at least be like a strong side platoon guy next year.
Yeah.
So I will certainly take that pick. Then it gets trickier. See, I think it's like, do you want to go and just like play for like pure upside? Or do you want like a dependable veteran that you kind of know what you're going to get from, but it's not going to be exciting? And then there's also at least one guy I'm intrigued by, but I'm like, is he just going to retire after this year? So, hmm, this is a tricky pick. Just you know what, I'm going to take this guy purely just as a as an fu. Um, and
Because
also
you think he's next on my board?
no, it's just I think you would like to draft this guy at some point given the opportunity. Um, but he was basically a league average bat this year with a career low BABIP and 14 home runs in only 65 games. You extrapolate that out a little bit, give me a 20 home run hitter, 25 home run hitter with a little bit of help. Give me Joey Votto.
Okay. Yeah, he wasn't next on my board. But yeah, I'm is he the guy that you're like just worried he's gonna retire?
No, because Votto has made it abundantly clear that he wants to come back and play one more year, whether it's in Cincinnati or
No,
somewhere.
I think he's made it abundantly clear that he doesn't know what he's gonna do.
I thought I saw something this week that was like, I want to play one more year. I really hope it's in Cincinnati, but if not, then that's that.
Maybe. I'm not super sure, but either way, yeah, he's a nice pick. Uh he bangs.
Well, yeah, and then I we also I think we argued about this week how many at bats we think he's going to get, and I think there's a clearer path to him if he comes back to the Reds, getting like 400 at bats
Hmm.
than you seem to. So MLB trade rumors 5 days ago, Joey Votto plans to play in 2024.
Okay. Well,
Votto
that's good.
had speculation the rest of the day on the Dan Patrick show. He said he wants to play at least one more season before adding that while he wants to play for the Reds, he would at least consider playing for another club if the team decides they want to move on.
Okay, well that's what you want to hear. Um
Yeah, and I don't think like Miguel Cabrera towards the end was a total pumpkin. I mean, all these Tigers fans are going to hate me saying this, but like, I mean, there is no pop there. There's really nothing. I think Joey Votto has a little more something in the bat, and I think what I compare him a little more to is I think there's something kind of like Pujols' last season and a half, like between the Dodgers and the Cardinals. Like I think Votto can spike something like that.
I could see it.
Yeah, and that's especially kind of like on a retirement tour type of thing, maybe with a little more energy. You know, he's going to put all his eggs in that basket. He's not trying to save anything in for a future season. Like that's where I think Votto can maybe provide some sneaky value. And he was fantastic as recently as 2021. So
I'm up next. I'm going to take a guy who I think over the past half decade has maybe been the most underrated player in baseball.
oh,
He's just super steady. Always gets a high on base percentage. It's Donovan Solano.
Oh, that is a great call. Yeah, he is ridiculously underrated.
Yeah,
Uh,
he's going to be turning 36 this offseason. He got just shy of he got 400 plate appearances this year with 369 on base for the Twins. He was just kind of out there hitting for high average, high on base percentage in San Francisco. No one really noticed. He had a decent year with the Reds last year. No one noticed. And now he's with the Twins this year. No one noticed. I
I
don't know. I like
I,
him a lot.
I definitely owned him in the Dynasty League a couple times.
Yeah, Donnie Barrels.
Donnie Barrels. That is a great call out.
All right, and I got a second pick, and I will take a bat. I think Evan Longoria's got a little something left in his bat. He certainly got a little something left in his glove. He had a worse season this year than I thought he did. It seems he struggled down the stretch, but I still like him. I think he's gonna have he's got another decent year or two.
I wonder if he's going to retire. That's my only thing with him.
Yeah, if he does, then he's my 8 out of 9 hitter. I think I can live with that.
Yeah, I think he said at the beginning of last year, like, hey, like, or last offseason, he's like, I got one more year in me. And then he just like came out and shoved this year. So that's getting me to think like, hey, he might actually like keep at this for a little while longer. Uh,
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, he's going on a playoff run. He's gonna be in the LCS. So
yeah,
so
that's
maybe the shorter off season maybe makes him feel like he doesn't want to lace him up again. I don't know. I think he's a fine pick though.
yeah. I will say I think if the Diamondbacks win it all, I think there's a 0% chance he comes back. I think he just retires on top. But
Yeah.
you could argue the way he's treading right now, he could feel like what he is doing is retiring on top. But all right, in any event, it does come back to me for two picks. As I said before, you are certainly not making this easy on me. With my next two picks, well, my next pick at least, I'm gonna go dip back into the holds game, and I'm gonna take Adam Ottavino.
Good pick.
Yeah, and then trying to see if there's just any semblance of hitter left because that's where I'm really thinking it's starting to run dry. Uh, like really
You got to
uncomfortable.
take two more.
I know. There's two names I'm thinking about here on the hitter side, and then also a pitcher I'm thinking about. There's some really fun names as an aside as I'm looking this up that like are not relevant at all, but some of these are like, wait, they haven't retired yet, like uh and it is certainly interesting. Wow, that guy was garbage here. How did he play as many games as he did? There's all these interesting starting pitchers I wouldn't be opposed to picking. But I feel confident enough in my rotation compared to yours. I'm not really sure it's even worth trying to take one of them. In terms of just purely building a team. But what I am going to do is pick a player who has been remarkably consistent before an injury last year. Took him a little while to come back this year. And I don't feel amazing about this, but he's just been a professional hitter his entire career. And I think it's funny when people use that term because what the hell does that term even mean? Give me Michael.
Professional hitter Jesse Winker. That's what I always.
No, Jesse Winker is the opposite of a professional hitter.
Oh, okay, this past year he has been this year he was the opposite professional hitter, but with the Reds he was professional hitter day in day out.
I disagree with that take. Uh, Actually, maybe at the Reds, maybe not. Okay, I'll give you that. But Michael Brantley, I feel like is a
Yeah,
definite
professional hitter, Michael Brantley.
right. And I don't know if the contract. I don't know if it was. I
He
think it was.
only played like 10 games this year, didn't he?
Yeah, but like someone's gonna sign him and he's gonna play like a decent number of games and like look the Dodgers signed David Peralta this year and used him as just kind of like a patchwork type of guy. Like
And he's one of the best hitters left on the board.
I know, but which is why I was like, how the hell did he have as many at bats as he did? But like if somebody like him is going to get as many as at bats as he did, like I don't see why a team wouldn't just gamble on Michael Brantley. Like I think for a rebuilding team, he's a perfect DH, like professional hitter to teach guys, and if not, he's gonna get enough at bats somewhere where he's gonna be relevant enough as a kind of a part time DH left fielder with a good OBP.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I am going to take a guy, another Holds guy.
Uh,
Um,
are we thinking of the same guy?
I don't know, but he started out the season with the Red Sox, was
Oh, yeah,
garbage.
I know who you're talking about. That's a great pick.
Yeah, pretty garbage, although had some decent peripherals. Red Sox DFA'd him, signed with the Dodgers. They decided, hey, throw this cutter. And suddenly he's Mariano Rivera. He had an 0.70 ERA in 39 innings with the Dodgers. He's going to get some holds next year for some team. Ryan Brazier.
That's a great pick. I almost picked him. I just kind of wasn't sure if he'd be able to keep it up long term or if this was just a hot stretch. But I picked him up once in the semis and once in the finals, and he got a hold in both of those matchups. So
Hey,
yeah,
yes, you're familiar with Ryan Brazier
yeah,
in that case.
yeah.
I
No,
have one hitter and one pitcher left to take,
oh,
and it is rough. And I don't mean Darren Ruff, even though he's on my board and I'm considering him. But it is rough. Um, I think I'm going to take the hitter now. No, I'm going to take the pitcher now.
are you
And
answering
that,
the old question?
at least in this case, God, since I only have one pick left, I can think through some guys out loud. Kirby Yates is 36, but he walked 5.5 guys per nine this
That
year.
was my exact reason for kind of shying away. Yeah.
Yeah, Caleb Thielbar is interesting as well, but he's a super low BABIP guy, so I'm not convinced he's going to keep this up next year. Um, but he's maybe interesting. Aaron Loop I like, but he was not good this year. Um, Luis Garcia, the Padres love to give him holds, although he was not super great this year.
Is he a free agent?
I think so.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's another factor.
Uh, I can Jake Diekman, maybe the Rays fixed him. He was awful with the White Sox, but the Rays kind of worked their Rays magic on him. He still walked 5 guys per nine, so I don't know how I feel about that. Um, I could always go with starter like Wade Miley. He was probably the best starter left. Um,
Paulo Espino still on the board.
I do like Paulo Espino. No, I don't want to go with starter because a starter will blow up my ERA, and I want to win that. Let's look at Jesse Chavez. He's no, there's he's 40. Is he coming back next year?
That was my word with him because like if you look at the numbers, they're great, but like especially if
Yeah,
Atlanta makes.
best 40 years old, best season of his career. Um, and like yeah, I don't know what yeah, the home run for fly ball, I guess he got kind of lucky there. At a certain point, um, you gotta pick someone. Let's go Caleb Thielbar. I think he's maybe the guy I'm most confident going to put up a sub 4 ERA next year of these guys.
Okay.
Caleb Thielbar rounding out my bullpen.
Okay, so is it I have two picks and
You
then
have your last two, one pitcher, one hitter, and I've got my final hitter.
okay, so I can think pitchers out loud. I mean all the names you said were pretty much all names that I was considering. Trying to think if there's really Hyunjin Ryu. I think could be interesting as a starter. I don't trust him to stay healthy. I mean, ditto with Wade Miley. Somehow he just kind of continues to get it done. Uh, I think this is also a good opportunity for us to spotlight some other names that we're just not going to pick. But Lance Lynn, it could be an interesting bounce back candidate, but the downside is so high, and that's like with a different roster construction, or in a world where where I don't think by starting pitching is just leaps and bounds better, I think I would consider him, but it doesn't make a ton of sense to do that. Did Ian Kennedy even pitch this year?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I just saw his name on here. Okay,
He
like
did pitch this year. He pitched 16 innings with a 7.16 ERA.
God. And Matt Bush, I want to shout him out because he was randomly warming up for the Rangers a couple times during the ALDS, and apparently he has up pitched for the Rangers all year. So I don't know how the hell that one worked out, but
Yeah, he was with Milwaukee this year and he was really bad.
yeah, that sounds about right. Uh, I mean, these names are so bad. Like, it's just so bad at this point. I'm trying to, there is nothing. I mean, there are a couple names who are almost 40 who would have been really interesting for this. Merrill Kelly, or not 40, almost 35. Merrill Kelly, James Paxton, Ryan Presley will absolutely be picked in next year's version. What,
Hector Neris will be 35 next year.
yeah, what Merrifield will be picked. Mark Canha will be picked. Um, I don't think you mentioned Miles Mikolas, but that's an interesting name. I'm just worried he'll blow up the ERA. Oh God, am I really considering this guy? Oh,
See, I've zeroed in on the hitter I want, and he was a guy at first I was thinking like when I was putting it on board, I was like, okay, worst case scenario, absolute last resort, I can take this guy, but he's probably gonna be my last pick.
I don't think this guy I just stumbled upon is going to be him. Let me check one last player stats, and then it's between these two for the pitcher. Uh, oh, why not? He keeps shoving, and I don't know how, but give me Wade Miley.
Yeah,
It
not a bad pick.
yeah, it just it keeps working. It's hilarious to me that like he spent 2 years at the Reds. That's it's weird to think that he spent that much time with the Reds. So that's the pitcher, and then for the hitter, I mean, there are no good options left. Um, I'm glad we set the limits where we did, because this would have been really bad otherwise. But
I agree.
yeah, give me how much time do we have left on the call?
Uh, 6 minutes.
Fuck. Okay. Shit. I just had the name of it. I was just about to say it. And then it has disappeared on me. Sure. Just give me David Peralta. I mean, it's.
Yeah.
I mean, he got at bats this year. I don't know who the hell is going to give him at bats next year because it's not the Dodgers, but why not? I'm sure you have a
All
better.
right. Yeah, why not? I am going to take there's only one hitter remaining that had a OPS plus or WRC plus above 90 this year. So I'm going to take my catcher, Yan Gomes, as the final pick in the draft.
Okay, I
Yan
thought about it
Gomes.
as well, but where's the playing time come from?
I don't know. Where'd the playing time come from this year? He got it somehow. He played 103 games at catcher.
Didn't they just
He
call?
he has a club option for next year. I don't know. I think he gets a backup catcher spot somewhere. He hit well this year. He had his best hitting season, non-shortened season since 2018. Yan Gomes.
It just goes to show how few names are there are really there once you hit the 35 age range. And thank God we included 35-year-olds because we would have been so boned otherwise.
Yeah.
All right, how do you feel about your team?
I feel okay. I feel like this is a recurring segment now. We have something here.
I think so too. I would like to draft this team again next year, and I think some of the names are going to be the same, but given their age, there's going to be so much volatility that the draft's going to look really different. And I really want to do this one next year.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Maybe Matt Carpenter goes off again, has a 2022 season, does it again this coming year, and he's a top 10 pick next year. Who knows?
Okay, because this last year, he absolutely would have been one of the top hitters off of the board.
Yeah, no, and he stunk it up this year. I like my hitting a lot, and I think I've got a good bullpen. I think I got a good team.
Yeah, I like my team. I love this rotation. I think you do have the two best hitters, but I do think it evens out after that. And I think if guys like Jose Abreu bounce back, then I think the hitting can be a little more interesting. And I am glad that I got Starling Marte in particular, because I think that's going to help me stay competitive in sales. Oh, and Tommy Pham too, because Tommy Pham, I think, had 15 to 20 steals this year. So
okay. Yeah, it'll be competitive. It's going to be good. Let's do matchups, We'll do matchups and we'll have a finals.
Yeah, we'll do matchups. No ads, no drops. I mean, you're gonna have to set it so that we just have like what 8 or 9 utility guys and 9 pitcher spots. Because did any of us draft? There was at least one shortstop eligible player, which I don't think either of us drafted. But
no, Elvis Andrews.
Yeah, but I think
neither of us took him.
Justin Turner might have second base eligibility next year. So we'll see.
Yeah, but it'll be tough. I'm excited to see how the season goes. I'm sure you'll drag it up. You'll dig it up how we've done in September while we're talking about the playoff matchups.
Yeah, something will remind me of it. And Justin Turner will only be first base eligible next year, as will I think half of the guys we drafted. But
well, that's okay. This call's about to end. This was fun. Awesome draft. Gonna be a off season of drafts, I think, for sure. But before we get to the off season of drafts, we've got a great interview coming up. We've got Ruthvik. He's gonna talk about his run to the semis this year, his run through the regular season into the semis, and his plans for the future in this league and any other league. So we're gonna be a great interview. Stick around.
Stick around.
In my head, instead of going under, 'cause
All right, we are back now, and we're joined by Ruthvik for a very exciting interview. Ruthvik, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, of course. Very, very exciting season for you. Slow start. I was slow enough start that you really desperately wanted to trade for your first round pick back from me, hoping it'd be a lottery pick. But
I
in
do
the end, you
remember
went on a
that.
big run, just to make not only to make the playoffs, but to go on a deep playoff run as well. I guess first and foremost, let's start out at the beginning. What were you feeling early in the season that was giving you cause for concern? And what turned it around in the regular season for you?
Hmm. I think kind of a lot of the points that we addressed in the offseason and beginning the season, um, especially with the offense being so terrible. I think we kind of saw that just come into play. So that definitely gave me a lot of cause for concern. But then the pitching was so good that I really didn't want to give up on it. I would say I think I'm sure everyone in the league has heard me say this like numerous times, but a lot of my losses were extremely close, and it really just came down to like a Sunday night offense going cold or like one relief pitcher not doing something one night. So I wasn't super worried, but I needed to make some moves. So I just knew that like making the right moves hopefully could help me sneak into the playoffs.
Yeah, no, and it definitely did. And yeah, the moves you made, just looking uh, through your in season trades, you got Aroldis Chapman in July. You got Andres Jimenez, Jack Flaherty, Stephen Kwan. You also traded for Michael Lorenzen as well, and Lourdes Gurriel Jr. And Alex Cobb at the end as well. So a lot of moves, very active in July and
Yep.
August. Any of those in particular you feel helped you out?
I definitely think there were a couple of trades I really liked. I think number one, the George Springer trade. That one, and I got Hunter Renfroe in that. I know Renfroe didn't really end the season on a positive note, but when he was on my team, like he was putting in a lot of work. Great with doubles, really had some power. The things that my team was really lacking. So Springer also brought that dimension of both power and speed. Like he ended the season with a 2020 season, which was really good considering he was slumping most of the season. So those two guys definitely made a big difference. I know this is going to go back to Sahil's hot take, but I still believe that the Bregman deal did me more good than bad because it like completely changed the identity of my team. Um, and do you still have any thoughts on that now, Sahil?
I've come around on the deal, kind of having thought through it more, and kind of the effect that Horner had on your team, and just also kind of doing a deeper dive and projecting him forward. I still think Bregman. If I had to pick one of them, I think I'd still pick Bregman, but like I think it's close, and I do get people who do pick Horner. I also think it helped that you got Robert Hassel in the deal as well. Who How did he do this season? I feel like he's fallen off a little bit.
Actually,
Yeah, I
yeah,
haven't
I
heard
feel like
about it in
he's
a
fallen
while.
off. Yeah, I haven't heard about him, and also I gave up Alex Ramirez, who's kind of surging. So
Ooh,
I felt like I lost a little bit
Hassel did not have a good year at all.
there.
And then Ramirez.
Ramirez is so young; it was like hard to bank on him doing anything consistently.
Ramirez also had a bad year. He had a 78
Okay,
WRC in high. So like I guess and then Peter Strzelecki got DFA'd at one point. So and it's
Yeah, he
really
was pitching the other day
Bregman.
for Arizona.
yeah,
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. So I mean it's really Bregman, Horner, and then Yuki's 2024 third, which you acquired, which you do not have. EBO has that pick now. So um
yeah, yeah. No, I think that those are all fair points. Like they're both, I think they're both pretty like even. Obviously, Bregman is a much better player, but I think Horner was a better fit. He also really helped me out because I don't have to worry about shortstop at least until like even through next year because he's like, going to maintain that eligibility. So that really
Played
helped.
exactly 20 games, so he did
Yeah.
just enough to maintain the eligibility for another year.
Thank God. Thank
Boy.
God. I had an absolute void over there. So yeah, I think that trade was really good. The Cabrian Hayes trade, in my opinion, was like super underrated. I thought he came back really strong from the injury. So that was something that I felt like really helped me. A lot of these players caught fire like at the right point for me. So my offense wasn't a total void. And I think that really helped like overcome a lot of the late season slumps, like losing to you and Andrew back to back to end the year. Was rough, but I think as you know, like the playoffs were like a good one round, but I to get there, I think these guys really like picked up at the perfect time for me.
Yeah, let's talk about that playoff matchup. I'm sure Cam doesn't want to relive it. But I guess right, you ended the regular season kind of on a sour note, as you alluded to. Obviously, two very tough opponents, me and Andrew, right? And then you're rolling into these playoffs against Cam. Just like how did you feel about that week? How did you approach the playoffs? Were you confident going into that week that you might be able to pull off the upset, or were you just kind of happy to be there? Like how did that work for you?
It's tough. I think even looking at those last 2 weeks before the playoffs, I lost 5-7 both weeks. And if I remember right against you, I was leading for a huge part of it. And I like everything that could go wrong went wrong the end of Sunday. Like at one point, it looked like your best case scenario was a tie, and then you like completely flipped it right at the end. So
That's how Sahil matchups go.
right, exactly.
Except for the finals when it was the exact opposite.
Exact opposite, right? I know. That's why I was like, I wasn't super worried. I just knew that if I win, it was going to be super close. But if I lost, could be a disaster, kind of like how Cam's and my like earlier matchup went. And obviously, I was very, very surprised by like how I won, I would say, because like if you were to look at the scoreboard and you didn't look at the names, you would think that like I put up Cam's pitching numbers and he put up my offensive numbers.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you scored 62 runs with 369, 370 on base. And I had that 1271 whip. You really did put up a fantastic offensive week, no doubt about it.
Well, and then
Yeah.
not only was that a fantastic offensive week, like you came into the week after that against Jake, like not as good of an offensive week, but you played him very strong. Like there was a legitimate chance going into Sunday. I didn't think it was the likeliest scenario, but that you would be able to pull out a win.
Yeah, no, you're right. There was a path for success. I think you and I talked about it going into Sunday. Like there was a chance. And I also remember that was the weekend I was out in Seattle, so like I didn't even have service or anything. And I remember it was just like waiting at the end of Sunday just to see what happened.
Oh,
But no,
I
you're
was
right.
setting your lineup for you. Like you literally
That's true.
set your lineup. Yeah,
That's true. That's true. And yeah, looking at that matchup, like my pitching went nuclear that week. Like it was crazy that I only won two categories, given I had like 93 strikeouts, 7 quality starts. The 4 saves and 2 holds are like, but then a 2.038 ERA and a .9 whip. Like that was outrageous that I only won two categories.
Well, what's interesting to me too is that if you and I would have played each other that week, we would have tied. Like I would have advanced as a higher seed, but we would have tied. Like this wasn't luck. This was a really good 2 week stretch for you.
Yeah, yeah, no, absolutely. And obviously the offense was what let me down. But yeah, I mean, I couldn't have asked for more in this playoff run. Very, very happy to even make the playoffs and then to play Cam close and sneak it out at the end was like the cherry on top.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, your potential MVP for that semis had you won. Nico Horner was fantastic. He stole 3 bases and had a nearly 500 on base. Devers was a little better. He would have gotten the MVP. But I mean, yeah, guys you acquired midseason to bring it full circle really carried you through the playoffs.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So now let's move.
Uh,
Let's move to the off season then. I mean, you're coming off a semis appearance here in a season where I think Cam and I have to eat a little bit of crow, me especially, because I think I kept kind of calling on you to sell at some point. But you have defied the odds, at least from my perspective, and made it to the semis, and this team has really come together. It looks really nice. What's next here? What's in store for off season, Ruthvik? Are you any places you want to improve in particular? Any moves you're trying to make? You think you're going to be more active in the trade market? Stay pat? Like, what are you thinking here?
Definitely going to be more active. I think that a lot of the pieces that I did get kind of felt more like a 1 year rental kind of situation for me. Like I'm definitely going to try to trade, Springer, Mountcastle, any player that really has value left at this point that's not like super young. I'm also obviously going to shop Acuna. I've done that every offseason, and I think a couple of times I came close. And after what he did this year, like I think I can definitely test the market and see if I can like completely retool the entire team by just trading a guy like him. But positive note was definitely like a lot of the pitching stayed consistent, even though I traded a ton of them this year. I know DeGrom was last off season, but like basically losing DeGrom, Bieber, and I think there was someone else, I don't remember, like trading three pieces was like kind of big for this team. And to still maintain like a pretty solid pitching core, I think I can afford to probably trade away a few more. Also, a couple of my guys were hurt most of the year. Like Musgrove only pitched like 90 something innings. Trevor Rogers was hurt. Like I do have a few pieces coming back, so I can definitely like shop a lot of these arms, and then hopefully Edwin Diaz comes back super strong to help the bullpen again.
Absolutely. It's interesting you say Acuna's on the block. I'll reach out about that because I'm definitely in a unique position to trade like 6 pieces for him.
Don't
where a lot of teams aren't.
Cam doesn't make good offers. Don't trade him to Cam.
No, man.
Well, that kind of
best offer.
Yeah, the me not making good offers is it kind of brings me around to my next question. Neither of us are super known for making good offers. I think that's not a secret. We've kind of found it hard to trade with each other for that reason. But plus with us kind of looking for the same type of thing, and then I've kind of noticed that we both will refuse to say anything negative about any of our players, no matter what, to try and not hurt the trade value. You do that as well. I've kind of started doing that with Jeff McNeil. So I'll challenge you to talk shit about one of your players, just for the content.
I like this. I do like this. Let me go through my players really quickly. I feel like I made so many pickups right at the end that I don't even recognize like a third of this team. But like I didn't know I had Nick Pivetta on this team. But all right. To talk shit about a player. Oh man. I can't do David Schneider. No, he's a hero.
That was the one I thought you were gonna pick with how shitty he ended the season.
All right. You know what? Screw it. I gotta do it. How do you have such a ridiculous start? Like crazy 3-game stretch. Then of course he got benched for a little while. And then when he came back, he was still super hot. And then I think it was during my playoff run. I think the slump started the week I lost, or maybe like started when I was playing UCAM. He goes on like an 0 for 35 or 0 for 36 run. Like that is absurd. That shoots down any trade value you have. Like I know no one expected him to maintain the 530 average with 8 home runs or something. Like no one expected that. But to go this cold to where your average is now a respectable 276 is crazy.
Yeah, so he had a solid week against me. Walked 7 times, hit a homer, hit 3 doubles. So it was not against me that he slumped. Let's look at the matchup against Jake. 3 for 28. There it is. Yeah.
There it starts. Oh my goodness.
God, yeah, no, that is rough. He did hit a homer, but yeah, no,
Guy
rough
was not
rough
clutch.
week, and yeah, you could have used some on base percentage from him.
Yep. Yeah, that guy had to do it to him. Everyone else, honestly, had their highs and lows, but man, oh, I like Springer at one point was equally horrific. I think he went through like a 50 at bat stretch where he had like 3 hits or something earlier in the year. And that was also just disgraceful.
Yeah, he did not have the best year. When you look at the stats at the end of the year, he was fine, but
End of the
yeah,
year is fine. Yeah.
he was brutal there. It's uh he's 34 now. God, that's weird. I feel like it's just yesterday he's just coming up.
Mm-hmm. But I can say if there's one player who will most likely not start the year on my team, it'll be Springer.
That's interesting. I might be interested in him.
All right, we'll see.
Yeah. I've traded for him twice in the past, so but yeah, he's an interesting one. Cam, do you have any other questions?
That's kind of it for the baseball questions. I will say, Ruthvik, it's your first full season in the hockey league. We're recording on Wednesday. Game started last night. The season started. How are you feeling about it? You've got a matchup right now against Zach with no H at the end. Zach Rowland off to an early start. How are you feeling about hockey season? How is Hockey Balboa doing?
I'm excited. I'm honestly like I'm super stoked. I think the last 2 weeks I was checking this team like every day trying to see like what I can do to improve, like what trade offers. And it's been interesting because like I never followed hockey before I'd say 2 years ago. And then like as I was slowly getting into it, like Andrew reached out and honestly it's been a blessing because it really helped me learn more about the sport and like get more involved. And I really like that. But going into the year, I think I'm stoked. I just like want to just see how things unfold. I am so ready to just keep making moves. It's nice that like I was able to follow the games yesterday. I think we got off to like an okay-ish start, but we also had like more players than Zach did. But yeah, I'm pretty excited to see how this year goes.
It'll be
Yeah,
exciting
no, it's
for
going to be great.
it'll be exciting for a Gallardo team too, or
Oh,
Gallardo
absolutely.
hockey team. Yeah, Ruthvik and I were talking about that before Cam hopped on the call.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I mean this is going to be definitely a big one to kind of separate a lot of the wheat from the chaff in the Garter League. How are people going to be paying attention? How are teams going to be doing over the winter in hockey?
Yeah.
Gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to a lot too.
Hmm.
I am beating Connor currently in that you are uh losing to Anthony and Evan very early. Obviously, this doesn't mean anything yet, but
And
I think Sahil and I just drafted a very young team as well, so we're just like just going with the flow.
yeah,
that's
exactly.
true. Yeah, you've got who do you have? You're Cantastic Five, right?
Yeah, I was just gonna say I need to rename that. I did that to mess with you for some reason, and then forgot why.
Yeah, ILM changed your name away from that, and then you changed it
No,
back.
no. Well, so
Yeah,
I had changed it to Cantastic 4, and then you LM changed it, so I changed it to Cantastic 5. That's exactly what happened. Uh,
gotcha. I mean, hey, that's at least a good story for the name. It's better than I don't know, Team McKean. But yeah, you've got some good guys. I mean, Marner's great. Perfetti, Kuzmenko, young guys. Rossi, a lot of yeah, you're right. A lot of young guys. You just need another goalie. You've got two really good ones, but you need another one.
Yeah, we need three.
and it can never have too many goalies, just like quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Well, you can if you have five because you're only allowed to have four.
Someone just cut Mac Jones in Gyarados Dynasty, and I'm waiting to see if somebody actually picks him up.
Well, it might be worth it.
I'd
Okay.
rather start a wide receiver than Mac Jones. I'd rather start a tight end than Mac Jones at this point.
Oh,
What's he projected for?
Mac Jones the past 2 weeks combined in that league has negative 0.9 points.
God.
So yeah.
That makes
Yeah, no, I will not be picking him up. It's like
neither will
another week of Josh Dobbs for me.
I would unironically rather have Josh Dobbs as my quarterback right now than Mac Jones.
And
Josh Dobbs has been decent. He's been the 15th ranked QB.
yeah, Dobbs is honestly very solid for fantasy.
Yeah, that's oh, poor Mac Jones.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Any other questions, Sahil?
No, I don't have any other questions. But yeah, I mean, congratulations on a great season. Semifinals is great. It's nice to see you back in the playoffs, making some noise. I remember how close you were in 2020 to making it to the finals, and it's exciting to see you back up there. I'm glad for your sake that you proved me wrong. I feel like I've been harder on your team on the podcast than any other team. It is
that is very true.
Yeah, it makes for easy content. So
absolutely.
But yeah, no, I can't wait to see what next season has in store for your team. See if you can defend that playoff spot and maybe a deeper run. So yeah.
I'm honestly, I'm excited. I will say my trade block is wide open. Like I said, like I'm pretty much going to trade anyone not named Logan Webb and Edwin Diaz. Should the right offer come.
We will. I will be in touch. There are several players on your team I would like to get my hands on.
All right, excellent. Yeah, I can't wait for baseball talks to start again. But otherwise, yeah, the rest. I feel like the last couple of weeks the Gallardo Cup has been like pretty active, and I enjoy that. Like everyone's been talking about all the different sports, and I think we've made a couple of nice like cross league sports and offers. So it's been going pretty well.
I think so too. It's been great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, nice to see. There's a solid stream of trades coming through in Gallardo. I love it.
Yeah. Right. There was one today as well. I think it was
was there? How did I
miss
Yeah, Sully traded for some hockey guys.
Yeah, actually, Sahil, this is an interesting one. It's Sully traded away Amari Cooper and it's like the Pacers point guard Andrew Nembhard. Traded them both to the Jakes for Corpusalo, the goalie, and then Evander Kane. I don't know much about the hockey players there, but he did trade away a pretty good wide receiver, I think, like a steady wide receiver too, and traded away a pretty irrelevant point guard, to be honest, in a 10-team league. So, Cam, you can probably speak about the hockey players more.
Yeah, I think Kane's a great get. He's a good scorer. He's going to hit a lot of people. He's going to be more valuable than his rostered percentage is going to show because we're in a league that values hits. Korpisalo's just kind of an average goalie, I'd say, middle of the pack. He is currently playing.
He is. Forgot.
Doing great against Carolina right now. I'd say he's a average goalie.
Okay. Yeah, I think Sully definitely took a risk there, but yeah, I trust him when it comes to the hockey players. So
yeah, no, definitely looking through who are his other goalies. I guess that really he did have to cut someone. No, he's got a good crew. Korpisalo is still probably his third best.
Yeah, I think Korpisalo just gave up another goal.
Oh yeah, no, he just did. Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, no, and Evander Kane plays tonight. Why is he rostering Burakovsky in a 10-team league? Anyway, this was a lot of fun. Anything else you want to say about any of your teams in any league, Ruthvik?
Oh, that's a lot of moving pieces, but I'm excited. And I think this year is gonna be a great one.
All right. Yeah. Well, yeah. Congrats on a great season, a win over me, a near win over Jake, and yeah, we'll see everyone next week.
Yep. See you all
next week. Guys.
I knew it when I saw it. So I did saw your boyfriend at the Port Authority. Sort of fucked up.
This podcast is good.